a 14-minute drive to my first Christian retreat. So just wanted to make a quick video because I haven't live streamed in a. So this is pretty crazy what happened. We had a leak in our house. Like there was a leak from the third floor to our second floor, where the I guess you call it the kitchen slash living room area was. And I met a neighbor. His name is Stan, and his beautiful family and his wife Sherry, like really good people, ended up becoming some of our closest friends. And what happened was he also had a leak in his house, so he reached out because I posted something in WhatsApp. We have like a neighborhood chat, and basically that leak caused us to be friends. I called him on WhatsApp, and then I was like, "Oh, are you the guy who is working out in in front of in your garage?" Because he leaves the garage door open, and he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, I was like, "Oh, do you care if I, would you mind if I like work out with you?" So he invited me to their church. He invited me to their church, and today I'm driving. Luckily, I'm really close by, so it starts pretty early. It's 7:30 is when the retreat starts until pretty late. I think we ended at like 11, yeah, 11 something p.m. And so I'm going to my first Christian retreat. It's called the Visions. So the church is called King's Covenant, and yeah, I would consider myself mostly agnostic my whole life, and recently, just in reflecting in a lot of oh, thanks for the like, whoever that is. Oh yeah, my name's Davidson. I live in New Jersey. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for your support, and yeah, I really appreciate everything. The viewers, like a lot of you guys have reached out to me to express like, hey, we miss you. Like, come back on the live stream. So I gotta make a more conscious effort to keep live streaming again. But anyway, back to the story. So I would consider myself agnostic for most of my life, but I've been going to church for the last 6 or 7 we oh, what a oh yeah, my one of my good friends just posted a Bible verse to me. But he said, let's see. He sent me a Titus. Let's see what he said. God, thank you for your grace and the gift of salvation. My eternity is secure in you because of your love. Teach me what it means to be godly. Oh, the light is here. Yeah, luckily I'm pretty close to the retreat. It's like 12 minutes away. So teach me what it means to be godly. Help me say yes to the things that bring you joy and no to the things I shouldn't do. Give me discernment to know the difference in Jesus' name. Cool. Yeah, so that's Edwin. So I think the reason why I've been more into Christianity lately is a lot of the components around forgiveness and being kind to your neighbors. And just like I notice a lot of my friends, and I'm not gonna lie, most of my life, like sometimes we make a lot of other things our God, right? Whether it's fame or money or status or getting into the best company, getting to the best schools, like just really making a lot of these things like the core thing that we work towards. And the more I just been able to surrender and just be grateful and be for what I have and just count my blessings, I feel much more gratitude in life, and overall just feeling content with what life has given me so far instead of being all victim-y and thinking about my ego and self and all that. So as my CEO Ian Koniak always says, like when you serve, you do it from a place of service, and it's and oh, and Stan, my next door neighbor, or three doors down neighbor, shared with me the word talent. Talent is God given, so it's like, hey, am I gonna waste my talents and not be fully self-expressed, like not continue to impact others, or am I gonna be so focused on me, poor me? Why is life so hard? I feel like instead of thinking about, oh man, like why did this layoff happen, or why did I get into so much debts or everything? It's like, oh, well, God made this happen so that I can truly be able to appreciate the human condition and be able to have empathy and compassion for others and be able to share openly about some of my struggles and whether it's about mental health or some of my experiences, hard experiences growing up without a father most of my life, or whatever injustices and experiences what I perceive as racism or microaggressions and things like that. It's truly been an interesting journey. So I don't know if you guys have had instances where you feel like a victim. If you do, post in the comments. Would love to learn more about the community. But I would say I've been a victim most of a decent chunk of my life, right? It's like, oh, why did I grow up poor? Why did I, instead of like truly being blessed, like, oh, I live in America. There's so much opportunity here. There's so much going on. Yes, like no country's perfect. No society's perfect. We all have things that, as a society, that we're working on. But I feel like if you turn on the news, usually it's a lot of it, like it seems like 75% of it is like negativity, right? It's like this shooting happened, this person got killed, this person experienced. There's always a lot. It seems like there's a lot of negativity instead of a lot of the good that has happened in the world, right? Yeah, sometimes you turn on the TV and also I guess it depends on what your TikTok algorithm is, right? On a lot of my social media algorithms, it's like people that are helping homeless people or whatever it is, right? Like people that are trying to do good in the world. And yeah, you may argue like, hey, are you sure they're doing it for the right reasons, or they're doing it to get fame or to get likes, right? I think at the end of the day, we're all trying our best, and some level of self forgiveness and giving yourself grace is helpful. Ever since I started going to church, I feel much more at peace, like a lot of peacefulness I haven't felt in a really long time. Oh, snap! What's good, brother? Yo, Leary, I love you, bro. Hey, brother. Hello, brother. I have a for people that are watching the replay, because I realize that a good majority of the views come from after this video has posted. So Leary is one of because you guys aren't able to see the comments, so I'll just read it out loud. Leary, who's based in India, up in northeast India, is actually one of the dudes who. So thanks, brother. Who got me curious about Christianity. I remember one of the live streams. He's like, "Hey, brother, are you Christian?" I was like, "Oh no, I would consider myself agnostic." He's like, "Oh, you would make a good Christian," and I was like, "What does that even mean?" And then that kind of helped me really think about it, and then I started realizing all these come to Jesus moments. But anyways, he said, "Hello, brother. I have a sermon tonight." Oh, are you doing a sermon? Uh, Curious to learn more about that. But yeah, I'll live stream tomorrow as well because I'll be driving to the retreat again at the youth fellowship. I'll be happy to talk to you more about God later. Yeah, brother, it's been interesting. Yesterday's sermon was a pastor from Texas, from Dallas, which the video that you sent me with that the first video that you sent me was about that. That he's based in Dallas, I mean, which is I don't know, maybe like a 5 hour flight from where I live. But he did a sermon about there was a moment where this woman who was like hemorrhaging for 12 years, like she went to all the doctors and she was sick and she was not able to get healed, and then she touched Jesus's robe, and then all of a sudden she got healed, and there was like, and then a lot of Jesus's energy was like dispelled, and no one was really listening to her because back in the day women just didn't have as many rights as men, and they were viewed as second class citizens, which is crazy to me. It's crazy that so much has changed in a relatively short amount of time. And I think the point that he was trying to prove, oh, and he gave I love pastors because they always share really vulnerable stories about their lives. And he was saying how during COVID, when he was like quarantined, his daughter and his wife basically outcasted him. It's like, hey, you have to quarantine, stay in your room. And every time he left the room, they would yell at him. It's like, because he was a pastor, so he was out with and about meeting with a lot of people in the early days of when COVID was in the U.S. And he was saying how he was like felt like an outcast because like anytime he wanted to do anything, they'd be like, "Hey, like get back into your room," right? So he was trying to prove the point of like how much of an outcast she was. Like she was broke, had no money, was sick her whole life, a second class citizen because of not only her gender and all these different things. And he's saying that like essentially, I think the point he was trying to prove was Jesus like loves you no matter what, right? It doesn't matter if you're sick, if you're broke, if you're poor, whatever it is, like Jesus still loves you. And and my takeaway was it was a beautiful lesson in just treating others with kindness, right? Like how many times have we walked across homeless people? In New York City, there's a ton of homeless people, and I wouldn't say I looked down on them, right? I mean, if anything, I just ignored them because it made me really sad if I had to look them in their eyes, right? Because a lot of times they're begging for money or whatever it is. And in America, at least, I'm usually, most people are usually very skeptical because it's like, are they going to use it to buy drugs or whatever? And it reminded me of a moment where my mom, she, bless her heart, she has like such a beautiful soul. She was like giving money to a guy that was outside a food place, like in Philadelphia, which is the closest city where my mom lives, where she lives in South Jersey. And she was giving money to like a homeless person that was like begging for money outside of a place that we went to get milkshakes or hamburgers, called a place called Five Guys. And I was like, oh, like she's so nice, like she's so generous. So I think my mom definitely passed her heart on to me and my sisters. And oh yeah, this is super interesting. My brother-in-law, who I've been praying for, he's going through currently a tough time because of his father's passing. I think like a year and a half, 2 years ago or so. Not sure the exact date, but it's been quite some time. He reached out to me and said, he's like, I'm inspired by your I've been thinking about your experience with your spiritual awakening and your relationship with religion, and I found it inspiring. I was wondering if you'd be cool with inviting me to come to church with you one day. I couldn't wait, so I wanted to reach out. He sent this. Hey, what's up, two lonely penguins? I appreciate it, dude. So yeah, he's someone who hasn't. I don't think, or at least I haven't. I've never heard of him going to church. So the fact that I inspired him to come check it out with me is really cool. I'm actually really excited for his journey. I know that everyone is at their own pace, and I never thought I'd be talking about God. Like it's just something that I just my entire life I never really. I guess skeptical would be like the right word I would choose to describe how I felt. Like I was just kind of like these people, they're kind of weird, like just praying to this like white man who has like long hair. Like I don't really get it. Being Asian American, I always felt like there's a lot of white worship in the sense that in America, obviously, white men have a lot of authority, whether it's in business and power, politics, whatever. So I was always thinking about it more like, hey, like, what's up with that? White people have so much influence in this world. Coming from a place of victimness and honestly, just not from a place of love or anything, like, just a lot of stuff that I've been holding on to. And it's been interesting. So, wanted to share with you guys all of that. Post on the bottom in the comments if you have any similar stories or how you started getting into Christianity. Would love to hear more as I'll be making more videos about my journey. I mean, I've only considered myself a Christian as of 3 weeks ago, so this is like a relatively newer thing. So, yeah, I'm at the Marriott, the beautiful Marriott, which is where we had a conference at with Coach Hub. So it's been a few years, a couple of years since I've been back here. And yeah, just grateful to be able to start day two of my my first Christian retreat. Excited to share with you more. Love you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe, like, share if this resonated with you. And I love you guys. Peace.